Hey, grade sevens. I'm just going to do a quick little video here about graphing example. Okay, so we'll take a look at this expression. We've got the expression 2x subtract 3. So we could quickly do this one where we do the inputs for a couple of x values. So I'm just going to start here with the values of x is 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so when x is 0, we would do it like this. 2 times 0, 0, subtract 3 is negative 3. Real quick, 2 multiplied by 1 as the input, subtract 3 is going to be negative 1. And 2 multiplied by 2, subtract 3 is going to equal positive 1, right? 2 times 2 is 4, subtract 3 is 1. Now, we could take a look at here and do our, as I said, the output values, which we just calculated. And that would become our ordered pairs. Okay, so in this case, for when our x was 0, our address is 0 for x, our y was negative 3. When the x was 1, the y value was negative 1. When the x value was 2, the y value was positive 1. Okay? Just so that you're aware, x values could also be in the negatives. So I'll just do that here in a different color. But in theory, you could have a negative value here as the x input, and you would also then have your y output. So 2 times negative 1, that would be the same thing as saying a negative 1 and another negative 1. So that would be negative 2 subtract 3. So thinking about this on a number line, or if it was minus 2 or negative 2 degrees and it goes down another 3, you would be at negative 5. Okay, so now looking at this, your output here would be negative 5. And that would make your ordered pair when x is negative 1, your y value would be negative 5, or your x address is negative 5. Now, why is this important? Is because now if we were to try to graph this linear expression, I'll show you shortly where or what that looks like. So if you take a look now, and we're now going to try to graph this linear expression. Okay, I'll use this color here. So we'll just try it out. So when x was 0, we'll start with that one, right? Remember our address for plotting points is 0. Is the origin, and now we just do the x value first, so how many left or right, and then how many up or down. So if our first value is 0 for x, and the coordinate was negative 3, well, how would I do that? Holy smokes, there's a negative value. So all we'd have to do is start thinking, okay, if the y value was negative, that means that it's going to be going down. So here's 0, negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3. So that's what our first plot point would be. Okay, so we did that one. Now, we'll take a look at this value, our ordered pair, negative 1 and negative 5. So when x was negative 1, the y value was negative 5. So that value would be here. And then we can look at this one. When x was positive 1, sorry, the y value was negative 1. So that would be here. And then finally, when our x value was 2, our y value was positive 1. So 2 to the right, 1 up. And now, if we connect this, sorry, it's going to be the best straight line as I can get, but that would continue for an infinite value of x's, or values for x, and an infinite for your y's. And that would continue both in the positive direction and the negative direction. Right? So just be aware that, yes, when graphing a linear expression, that it could extend into negative numbers.